Hi guys, we're gonna get started in just a moment here. Hang out with me for just a minute. Enjoy the nice music. Just pulling up a way so I can see your chats. All right, there we go. All right, we got a few people watching already. Wonderful. Let's see who we got here. Hello, Marcus. Thanks so much for being here. And hello, Kelly. Hi. Alrighty, I think ready to kick this off. Here we go. Hello, everybody. My name is Lynn Clementi Hicks, and I am your host of Baby Talk. I've been doing some thinking about that name, Baby Talk. I think it's a good way to start off our show today, our chat today. We're considering and starting the process of fostering, which means may not be a baby. Maybe our way of starting our family is with a child that needs a family. So I'm going to talk about that today. We're doing some thinking about maybe changing up the name of the channel here. I'm not sure. I'm open to suggestions or recommendations, ideas that you have. But hello, if it's your very first time catching this live stream, and if you're watching in the replay, don't be afraid to leave comments as you follow along or listen. Like seeing those thoughts afterwards too. And if you are watching live, please do say hi, especially if it's your first time. I would love to know who you are. Just say, new in the comments so that I can give you a little shout out. And, of course, all the people that are here, on a regular basis, hello. My channel has been following our struggles with infertility and how we went through IUI, IVF, and how we got pregnant, how we had a miscarriage, and now how we are exploring fostering. And guess what? All of that has happened this year, 2021. When I say that out loud, that's a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me take this down here. Do that. Okay. So I'm going to be talking today about some very raw feelings. Last week I told you that we had made contact with a foster facility that is about a 5-minute drive from us, very close. And they have a big sign that's outside, their big sign that says, Lydia Home, and then on their scrolling marquee it says, become a foster parent today, call, and then it has their number. And I've seen that sign so many times, and it's like when we're starting a foster, journey, this is a great place to start. And hello, Mom, and I assume Dad too, and hello to my husband, Bert, who's listening from the kitchen while I can hear him making dinner. It's wonderful. So last week we had heard that we would be starting our volunteering on Saturday, just this past Saturday, so October 30th, the day before I almost said Thanksgiving. What's on my mind? Turkey? Halloween. And we went and played bingo with about 10 kids. They break this foster facility breaks their residents into 4 floors, which is the young boys, the young girls, the old boys, and the old girls. And older meaning teenage, and the younger meaning, I think the youngest that they said they have is 6, I think, up to 13. So 6 to 13, and then I think they even have a little bit of overlap with those middle ages. So we met with the boys and girls of the younger age because they're allowed to blend. The older boys and girls, they keep them separated. We got a lot of information about this on Tuesday when we went to go meet with the volunteer coordinator. So she sat with us for an hour and 45 minutes, telling us about these children, about the program, about a lot about the kids. And it wasn't what we had expected. We had thought that this was a foster place where the kids would go to temporarily wait until they get into a foster home. This particular first facility, now Lydia Home does have a separate division, I guess. It's not this facility, but a separate section where they do regular, fostering, where they place the kids into temporary homes with the whole goal of reuniting them with their families. These children are the children who, the ones at the facility that we're volunteering with, are the ones that have developmental issues or have had trauma or experiences so bad that they don't know how to control their emotions, and that they have outbursts. They have a hard time, communicating their feelings. A lot of they're the ones that need to at times be restrained. They need to be medicated. They have a lot of therapy, and these are residential. It's a residential treatment center or residential treatment facility. So RTC and RTF, I'm starting to learn the lingo with this stuff. And please, if you have any experience with fostering or volunteering with an RTC or RTF, or if you're staff there or psychologist or therapist or anything like that, please reach out, because I would love either to have you as a guest on the show or just help me get through some of this with a little bit of advice. And by giving me advice, I can then share it with others. I'm really hoping that this channel starts to reach people who might be interested in going down the same path as me and Bert. And I just want to reassure you guys that although this is something we're starting on, we're not abandoning our attempts to become pregnant naturally again. Unfortunately, it was not this last cycle, because today was I got the first signs of my period coming again. So it's kind of a bummer. So let's talk a little bit about what our experience was on Saturday when we met these wonderful children. So we went in, and Bert and I were nervous. It was like, after we found out what kind of program this was, we're like, well, do we actually want to go and even meet these kids and then possibly say, whoa, this is too much, and just be another adult that is saying, hey, we don't want to be around these kids. Like, we're having a mindfulness around that. It's we want to have a positive impact, not another negative one on these kids. And I did talk to my therapist for a long time on Thursday about this, so I put a lot of thought into it. It's a very heavy emotional thing to be going through. So Bert and I, we talked and we said, let's go and meet these kids. The hour and a half or 2 hours that we spend with them is going to be a positive experience for them. Most likely it's going to show that, someone cares enough to show up for them and play with them. So we brought our bingo board, and if you've ever seen our bingo board, it has, we built it, well, I built it it's a wood board with screws in it to hold the balls, which are tennis balls. And I put them on there, and they sit on 2 nails. And we thought about how these kids, we were warned in that very long session with the volunteer coordinator, she's like, they can get violent, which is, a little scary when you're a volunteer. You don't want to be putting yourself in a situation where a child might attack. And I think I asked, what's the likeliness of that happening? And she said, well, these children work on a point system where, if, they don't have enough points for good behavior for the week, they don't get to participate in these kinds of activities. So I was a little reassured that, okay, these kids are probably, on a good streak. All we have to do is make sure they're happy, and we should be okay. I might be, this is a scary thing, guys, and I hope that you're not hearing this and going, wow, she's really insensitive. If I'm being insensitive, please help me correct here, or, I'm open to this. I'm an open book about what we're going through. This is all very heavy for us. So we go and we meet these kids, and we decided we would cover up as many of the screws as we could, just so that they wouldn't be sharp. If the kids decided to help us put balls on there, we don't want them to touch the thread on the screw and it would hurt. So we went out and we bought tube, and me and Bert we had our little system here. Now there's 150 of these on the board. We got through most of, maybe half of them. And we're like, okay, this is fine. We made an attempt. We'll finish this later. So we tried to, add safety to our bingo board. We bring our bingo balls with us, and we show up, and it's Halloween, and we had said, if the kids want to dress up, they can. We were down there, and it only takes us a few minutes to set up. I mean, we put out our ink daubers, we had our bingo cards, we had our board and our balls, and just us. That's all we needed to do. There's not a lot to it. And I kind of set up the chairs so that they were all kind of, pointed towards us, but with table access. It was, we were ready. It took us 2 minutes though. And we got they're like, we'll bring the kids down in 5 minutes. So we had 3 minutes to just kind of stand there and go, oh my God, what are these kids going to be like? What is our first impression? What's it going to, it's like this moment, guys. It's like it's like a pivot point. Like this is, we're about to meet these kids that we might create a relationship with, and who knows, maybe someday, we become one of their mentors. Maybe someday, they come home with us. These are the things that are going through our heads, as we're waiting for just a few moments for these kids to come down. So first the girls come down, and they, I had set up the chairs so that we had our tables kind of in the front, and then there were long rows of tables, think of it like a T. And instead of sitting at one of the long rows of tables, they sat at the table with the bingo board and the bingo balls, they wanted to be as close as possible to us. So Bert's standing in front with the bingo board, and I'm right behind the table, and we're it was a nice little setup. But all 4 girls right there in the front, and there was probably a 6-year-old and maybe, I don't know, 11. I didn't ask their ages. 11, maybe 12, and then maybe the other one was maybe 12 or 13. So fairly young. They were, and then they got settled in, and they were real excited about the ink daubers. They weren't wearing costumes, but they told me that what they were for Halloween, for their trunk or treat event that they had a couple days ago. And then the boys come down, and each of these groups has a staff member with them, so we're never alone with the kids. And the boys come down, and I think that there were 6 of them. And they came, and they were wearing, there was a blue Power Ranger, red, gold, white Power Ranger. I think maybe a black one too. There was a ninja and a vampire. I think that's what the 5 or the 6 were. And I think I might have said 7 there. But anyway, they were all in costume, all of them. It was so sweet. And they sat at the tables, that are going the long way in the room. And they get real excited about their ink daubers. They get excited about their bingo cards. And the youngest girl, who's maybe 5 or 6, she turns to the girl next to her who's probably 11 or so, and she goes, "Can you help me?" And the other girl's, "Of course, I got you." But the other girl was so excited about helping her, she didn't just say, "Oh, you've got, number whatever on your card." She would just, daub it for her. And the little girl was just this is no fun. Anyway, because she wasn't old enough to know the numbers yet. She didn't know her numbers, and she didn't, I don't know, the other one was kind of taking away the fun part of actually daubing it. Anyway, it was really neat to see how the kids interacted with each other, how they interacted with us, the things that they were saying, the reactions that they had. And I'm not trying to overanalyze every little thing that they did, but we were trying to figure out, what are these kids like? I wonder what they're thinking about us. Do they think that we're going to come back again? But that pressure of coming back again or being a recurring, person there, that wasn't there the whole time. That was they just genuinely in that moment were enjoying us and what we were doing with them. And I think that is something I need to remind myself, because I'm just so scared of them thinking, oh, are Lynn and Bert coming back again, or, are they not coming back to, it's not about that. I don't think that's what these kids are thinking. I think what they're thinking is, wow, someone came and they're playing with us now. Now, in the end, we did have so much fun with them. One of the boys said, "When are you coming back again?" And I said, well, hopefully in a few weeks. And that was acceptable with the kid, and that's good. I could tell that they enjoyed it, and they would want to, play more bingo or maybe something else with us. And as we were leaving, one of the staff said, "Thank you so much." He genuinely meant it. It was heartfelt. We could tell that, for that 90 minutes that we were keeping the kids completely occupied, they were able to just take a breath. I was thinking about these staff that are with these kids all the time, and man, I give them so much credit. They are, it's, what an incredible thing to choose a career where you're helping these children. So if anyone's out there and you're listening and you're in those roles, if you're a therapist for these kinds of kids or staff, or another volunteer, thank you. These kids are not forgotten because of people like you. So the staff person at the end, he said, so what do you guys think? And we said, well, we had a great time. We'd love to come back. We were thinking of maybe volunteering with the older kids too. And he goes, don't bother with the older kids. Come hang out with the younger kids. We'll appreciate it a lot more. I think he meant the kids and the staff, that they'd appreciate us more. So that doesn't mean we won't try with the older kids. I would really like to, just see what they're like. It's the start of what we think will be our fostering journey. So let me just thank you, Marcus, for saying that I'm not insensitive. I do appreciate that. I know sometimes that sharing my feelings, I don't want them to be perceived as trying to influence other people's feelings or thoughts. This channel is really just so that you get very raw information from somebody, and not you, Marcus. I mean, everybody, anyone who's watching is just seeing, getting the inside perspective of a very specific person's journey. So thank you also for saying that it's so beautiful. I think that comment popped up when I was talking about the kids. So, okay. Now, where's all this going? We're baby stepping it. I think some people, I have not yet talked to other foster parents, and I do intend to find out what their motives were. And I have read stories about how other parents have started on this journey from the same starting point as me and Bert, or I guess it would be a jumping off point, which is infertility and trying to create a family. And when IVF doesn't work, or whatever options you're going through don't work, and you decide to consider fostering, I think that the story that I had read is that adoption was too expensive for them, which adoption can be very expensive in a lot of cases. Or even having a surrogate's even more expensive, I think. That's one story of fostering, and I would love to talk to other people about what was their motivation, how they got started in it. So Bert and I are still in the strong consideration of it. And I think that the volunteering is so that we can start to meet these kids. The next step is mentoring, and then simultaneously we can begin the approval process to become foster parents. And I'm going to share with you that we've already received those papers to start filling that out. And what that does is then the very first thing they're going to do is a background check. Like, they're not going to spend time, doing a home study, if we're not even got a clean background. So first things first, that's what we do. They look to see if they've got our fingerprints on file, and they might have to fingerprint us, which is kind of crazy to think, there's all this, they know exactly who you are. They've got your fingerprint on file. I don't know why I did that voice, but I don't know, it's kind of funny to me. So I was looking through these papers, and it led me, I'm not just going to sign everything just willy-nilly without reading it, especially with what we're about to go through. There was 4 forms. One was like, fill this out so you can get a background check. Fine. Another one was like, fill this out as an employee of Lydia Home. That's just so that Lydia Home has our stuff on file. It is not... we are not actually going to become employees. In fact, there's a checkbox on there that says volunteer/mentor. So I was like freaked out. I'm like, hold on, I don't need another job here. What am I signing up for? It's just to be on file with them, which is fine. Okay, so that's the second form. Next is this form that says, it's a 1-page sheet, and if you're a teacher, you've probably signed this. If you're a therapist with children, basically if you've done anything with kids, you've probably signed this. If you're in like teaching capacity or leader. And basically it says if you notice a child that may be neglected or abused, you have to call this hotline, a very specific hotline number. And this is in Illinois. I believe it's specific to Illinois. Every state probably has their own system or version of this. That hotline is manned 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Did I say that right? I think I did. You know what I'm saying. And they will answer, and then they look into it. and if it's out of your hands at that point. So the thing that gave me pause on this was that if you fail to report a neglected child, that can be considered a misdemeanor for you, Class A misdemeanor, which I'm like, hold on here. What am I signing up for? What if I miss some signs? What if I mess this up? What if a kid's neglected and I didn't see it? Hopefully I would. But what if I don't know all the signs? And then there's in bold, it says, you can take this 1-hour training course to know what the signs are. I'm so like, okay, so I'll watch this video so I can go in and feel good about signing this form. So I go on, find the video, and it makes you fill out a form online so that you can have an account. And why do you want to have an account? It's so that you can have these hours go towards I guess you have to have a certain number of certification hours to become a foster parent. Every 4 years you have to renew. So I'm like, well, hold on a second. I don't want to watch this and not have that go towards my hours, but I have to create an account. And so it kind of went in this giant circle. I'm like, well, hold on. Where do I actually start? Is it with this form, or should I be setting up an account with DCFS? So I did ask Mel, who is our point of contact at Lydia Home, and she's been amazing. She's a woman who told us all the information at first. But I didn't fill out the form yet because she hasn't answered that specific question. So I have to follow up with her and kind of explain why I'm stuck here. So, and then I think the last form had something to do just with, it was I can't remember actually what it was now off the top of my head. And it was another form asking for a bunch of our information. So, and hello, Paul. Thanks. I don't know if you're still watching, but yes, thank you for, admiring my detective voice there. That's what that was exactly. And Marcus, again, thank you. Feelings are never right or wrong. They just are. I want to put that on a poster and put it in the background here because that's exactly right. Pretty much words I live by. After going through years and years of therapy, of course. I'm gonna, now that I brought up Mel, I'm going to just throw this in here. That when we first met with her, Bert and I left going, why did she tell us all that? That sometimes the kids need to be restrained. Sometimes they're violent. Sometimes these are the kids that other people don't want. In a nutshell, it's pretty much what she told us. That these kids they're runners. They looked, for opportunities to run away. Things like that. Why did she tell us all of that? Why didn't she just have us come volunteer and make our own opinions of these kids? And I think what she was doing was testing us. I think she was. I do think she was trying maybe to scare us away, or scare us to the point for us to decide whether this is, yes, something we want to actually invest our time in, and therefore, her time, or for a warning to us to say, hey, look, you don't have to be doing this. These are the kids you're dealing with. You could go and take the other kids, at the foster place that are ready to go to a loving home like yours, which does sound a lot, more like what we wanted to do. That's what we wanted in our mind. But we're moving forward with continuing to volunteer for these special children, and I feel good about it. I had a rough morning, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yesterday was awesome. Yesterday, a few days ago, we decided we are finally going to finish, and I'm taking a hard left turn here. Stick with me; it's all gonna make sense in a minute. A few days ago, I asked my dad to come and help us start drywalling to help finish the living room that was unfinished from when we did that huge project with the house. If you've been following for a while, you know about how we had to dig out one of the basement walls and re-pour it because our foundation was sinking. And anyway, our house is now stable, but they didn't do all the finishing like the drywall. So there's a ginormous beam, along our living room, and a post, but it's all exposed wood and they tore away the drywall. It's not the kind of a house you would normally have anyone over, let alone someone coming to do a home study and see, that a home is fit for a kid. So we've got that project, and I said, hey, Dad, who has helped me with drywalling before and done a bunch of drywalling in his life, Dad, I think we need your help and your van to help us get the drywall from Home Depot. So Dad said, yep, I'll be there. He was here at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday, which was yesterday, and we spent basically the whole day. I think we had him all the way up until 7:30 or 8. Thanks, Dad, and thanks, Mom, for letting us have him. We got so much done. It was really nice to spend time with Dad. And Bert, it's just it's an interesting, the whole, husband wife, father daughter, and then son-in-law and father-in-law. Like, that triangle is a unique triangle to have for almost an entire day together. Problem solving, working through all the different things that come up. Whenever you're doing any sort of home project, you're going to come across things that you weren't expecting, and you have to do some thinking to figure it out. We did that. It felt good. It was tiring. It was pretty productive. We did a good job. I'm gonna probably have some dinner and do a little bit more work tonight, do some more work tomorrow, and then keep going on Sunday. It's a big project, but it felt really good. It felt really good to do that yesterday, and it was maybe a subconscious distraction. It's like, timing worked out, but at the same time, I wasn't on social media all day yesterday seeing what I saw this morning. So it was kind of a delayed, bummer. Here's the bummer. Please don't, if you're a parent listening, and if you have kids, especially small kids, and if you did this, do not at all take it as something you did anything wrong. This is just my reaction to it. Maybe it's the reaction of other women who are having a hard time starting their own family, maybe even dads too, or potential dads. But seeing all the pictures of families with their young kids all dressed up was really hard today. It was really hard. Because I don't have a little kid dressed up, and I'm not out trick-or-treating with them, and maybe yesterday or last year wasn't as bad because, people couldn't go trick-or-treating as much. And it's like all that was on my social media feed was just all these pictures, and it was I'm still part of a couple of support groups for pregnancy and IVF and all that and everything, and some of those women were posting their bellies with their costumes and how creative they were, and they were really creative, but it was just a reminder, I'm not pregnant, I don't have kids, and it was tough, and it was that, and then, okay, I'm gonna be real here, okay, no, I don't have to be that real. Well, okay, I was looking through the social media while I was on the toilet, some of us do that, it's okay. And then, of course, when I got up from the toilet, and that's when I realized, oh, great, my period's coming too. So not only am I, looking through all this stuff, but it's also like, oh, and shucks, the last cycle didn't work, you're not pregnant. So it was just a twofer there. And then I hope Bert doesn't mind this too much. But I'm going to tell my side of it, and just the feeling that I had was, hey, and as I was leaving, I said, hey, Bert, I'm going to write to Mel from Lydia Home and tell her that we'd like to schedule something. When do you think we should go back again? We could potentially go this upcoming Sunday, which means it would only be, 8 days since last time we saw the kids. Or, we could go when we, possibly the following Sunday after we get home from Levi's birthday, which is my nephew. Or we could do the week after that. And he's like, well, maybe we should only be doing this like once a month. And I was just a little surprised because I thought that we'd be doing this a little bit more regularly. I'm just very eager to continue this journey. And I didn't know what to say in the moment because I was just so focused on what I wanted that I wasn't listening to what Bert wanted. And I think that he and I will talk about that probably maybe over dinner tonight or later this evening and kind of work through that. But I think that the reason I'm bringing it up is to highlight how when you're starting on this fostering journey, there's so many unknowns and new things, and you're both going through it together, but with different expectations, maybe ideas of what might be happening, definitely different feelings about it. It's really hard to balance that and find how to work through it together, be on the same page, and make sure that, everyone's staying even keeled. And yeah. And I know we can do this, but I'm also very aware of the strain it could potentially put on our relationship if we don't agree with how to move forward on it. And there's going to be, without a doubt, some give and take that we're both going to have to do. I am not, the dictator in this relationship. Sometimes I act like it, but Bert and I definitely are very communicative, and I do I do listen to what he wants to do sometimes. I'm going to check out the comments here really quick. Okay. Dad is commenting that he stayed till 8:30, but who's keeping score? And yes, it was a great day. A little sore today. I'm sore too. Actually, my knees are sore because I was the one on the ground scoring the drywall. And, down on my knees holding the straight edge straight. And my knees are so bruised. I'm touching them right now. If you couldn't tell why. Why is she moving so weird? Yeah, that's because I'm touching my knees to verify. Yes, there are bruises there. Ouch. That was weird, Lynn. Okay. I think I got the hearts. I think this is when I was getting teary-eyed. Thank you guys for sending hearts. Kelly, this is a very wonderful comment. The number of times you volunteer isn't a direct representation of the journey's outcome. Thank you for saying that. In my mind, it is the more times we see the kids, it's not like I'm racking up points, for the number of times I volunteer with them. It's more exposure. I am, aware that I don't have any built-in parenting skills from my own kids as I go into this fostering thing. So that I feel like volunteering is giving me more and more, time to work on how I'm responding to kids. So when I am the sole, in a partner with Bert, in custody of one of these children, hopefully as a foster parent, I will have, built up enough experience with these other children to help me. Every kid is different, but I hope, working in a group setting, I can start to get a little bit of that. And I think teachers, I don't know, I want to pick the brains of so many people, my friends that are parents, my friends that are teachers, my parents, foster parents. I just want to be like, tell me, please give me your knowledge. And I know a lot of this is just going to come from my own experience. So, but I know that we don't need to be volunteering every week or every other week in order for this to count. It's just, I'm eager and I want to keep going. Oh, Amy, thank you. And hello, thanks for being here today. It is tough. Everything that I heard on the radio today that, I don't know, that there was a perception that more people are optimistic than pessimistic. And then there was an actual study done that actually showed that actually more people are pessimistic than optimistic in life. No, I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm a pessimistic person. What I'm saying is I think that people are pessimistic because they've had so many experiences of traumas in life. And I think everybody has tough things to go through. But I love that that you're empathizing and saying, I'm sure it's so tough. And I don't know why I'm saying, everyone goes through some tough. I should just say, yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. I don't know what my problem is lately. It's like I'm getting back into that thing where I think, other people's problems are so much worse than mine. And then we dismiss our own feelings and then we don't deal with them. And then they just boil over and become big old problems. I don't know, guys. I think today is just a rough one for me. But I'm doing okay. I think I'm going to wrap this up soon because I've been kind of yammering for a while. I went to work today with all that kind of on my shoulders, the social media, the period, and then that kind of awkward conversation that Bert and I had right before I left for work. And I got to work and I was happy because several of my coworkers were actually working from home or had the day off. So there were only 4 of us in the office today. And it started off where I was just, chatting, and then one of my coworkers started talking with her other coworker about their kids and trick-or-treating, and then that's when it really hit me that I'm like, today's a rough one, and I am going to make it through, but I need to hold it together, and just have an awareness of my feelings. And my coworkers in our office, we pick on each other a bit, and I had the awareness to go in and say to my boss, who I could tell was in one of those playful moods where, could be one of those tough, like tough teasing Lynn days. And I said, hey, take it easy on me today. It's been a rough one. And I'm glad that I was able to I don't have to unload all of my emotions and everything on them. I can just say, hey, I'm having a day. Can you take it easy on me? And he's been really wonderful. He knows that we went through IVF and the miscarriage and everything like that. So he's been a really wonderful boss. And I'm very, very thankful for the workplace I'm in. I know not everybody has that. In the early in the afternoon, he goes, if you're not feeling good, you could go home. We're all done for the day. And I'm like, well, I have a lot to do still. I'm off on Thursday and Friday this week. I want to get ahead. So it was just very nice. And I encourage you that if there are people that can give you a little bit of, give on at work or in other places, to let them know what you're going through so that they can do that for you. If you're with people that can't do that for you, maybe question if those people are the right people to have in your life, if possible. I know sometimes you can't control that, but sometimes it's good to reflect on those kinds of things. So I don't know. I just wanted to let you know I'm thankful for you guys showing up for me today, hanging out with me. I know I have not been very interactive with you, but it seems like you guys are there for me, which is really wonderful. Sometimes I'm like, this is so boring. Why are they listening? But you're here, and I appreciate that. So Dad's saying, in fairness to Bert's once a month comment, just remember how much you have on your plate right now, especially since your living room is full of dust. Yes, you are absolutely right. And we have a lot coming up. So I also found out today, I don't think he's watching, but Spark told me that he's going to be moving. I don't know if that's public information, but here on this tiny little channel, I don't think that our audiences overlap very much. So the reason I bring that up is because I've been doing the comedy shows with Spark, and for quite a while now, I've been wondering, how do I tell Spark I need to maybe, stop doing the comedy shows so I can focus on other things, so I'm not overwhelmed. But I guess that decision was made for me. See, if you wait long enough, you don't have to do the hard things. Just kidding. I don't mean that at all. I should have been more brave and had that conversation with him sooner. But it sounds like the comedy shows that I've been doing with Spark and VA and Ty will be coming to an end at the end of November. So just a few shows left, including one this week on Wednesday. If you are in Chicago, please join us at Lincoln Lodge for Step Right Up. You can find tickets to Step Right Up, a comedy game show on Eventbrite. And this is going to be our last show before we do our big Champions show. So the Champions show is going to be the champions from 5 of the shows coming to compete against each other. That's not the one this week, but that'll be coming up. And then we have another show at 2 more shows at the end of November. I'll let you know about those as those are getting closer. So I just have to get through one more month of pushing through that. We're going to be heading to Nashville for our friends Par and Cece's wedding this weekend. Very excited about that. Get a little bit of warm weather because it is starting to turn very cold here in Chicago. Then next weekend, we've got Turkey Bowl for Chicago Sport and Social Club. If you play flag football and you want to play, get a team together. It's a really good time. 1-day tournament out at Lincoln Park South. I will be there the whole day, freezing my toes off because that's what I do every year there. And then on the following day, we go to visit my nephew for his 1-year birthday. I'm so excited. So, our schedules are packed, but it's not as stressful as it was before. We don't have huge events that we're planning right now, so I feel like I can handle this. A little bit of volunteering every few weeks, I can handle that. But yes, offloading some work will be good. I would love to just check in with you guys real quick. How's everybody doing? Let me know. What are you, what wins have you got? What struggles have you got? Challenges? Dump them in the comments if you want. Let me give you some love back for helping me out today. And then we'll say goodbye, and I'll be back next Monday. So I'm also going to wait, how was I going to do that? Nope. Okay. So I do have, my brain is, now that I've got a little bit more free time to think and not stress, I have started to think about the channel a little bit more, and I did tell you that we'd be seeing some changes soon, and they will be coming soon. I keep saying that, but it will. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't see you guys typing in any new comments, and that's okay. Sometimes it's just a Lynn day, and that seems to be today. I want you to guys know whatever you're doing this week, and whatever you're going through in life, long-term, short-term, or whatever, you are supported. You're supported here by me and the people that are watching with you. And also just remember to remind other people you're there for them too, okay? Reach out to someone this week. Let them know you're thinking of them. I hope you have an awesome week. Hope to see you guys next Monday when we hang out here again. Until then, baby dust to you, and I don't know. What's the end of this? Okay, baby dust and good luck? I don't know. Anyway, have a great day, guys. I'll see you later next week. Bye. I did forget to tell you guys, I have been feeding Jasper the cat thanks to Marcus's donation last week. So, Marcus, we still have Jasper. Just letting you know. Living under our porch. Alright, guys, bye.